So let's rewind to way back in the morning. I had to create a lot of stuff. There was a lot of content that needed to be made, a lot of editing, a lot of filming, a lot of all that kind of jazz. So in this episode, I'm going to be discussing how creating a great backup workflow for your editing process can extremely speed up the entire editing process and kind of get you through that rush kind of day where you need to get a lot done. So this is the tips and stuff that helped me out today. Let's go. Hey, it's AKAJK, welcome back to another episode of the vlog, the daily grind, whatever the hell you want to call it here on the channel. And now today I'm essentially going to be discussing a lot of tips and just kind of giving you a bunch of information on creating a great backup workflow for your content creation. So if I want to go way back when, my editing, just for simple pieces of video, takes like a 5-minute video, really simple, a couple of transitions, no text, and just some cuts. It would take like an entire full day of editing. Crazy, just for a simple video with a few cuts and some transitions. That was just because I didn't really have a great workflow. I wasn't really backing up properly. A lot of files were hard to navigate and all that kind of jazz. So over time I developed a great backup workflow and my editing process has been sped up massively. So basically the definition of having a backup workflow is basically kind of process that you go through to back up all your files from your cameras, your audio recorders and all that kind of jazz to a certain hard drive or on the cloud and get it organized in an efficient system which is easy to navigate and 10x's your editing process. Now it's pretty self-explanatory in why you would need to have a backup workflow. It just kind of speeds up the editing workflow so much. It makes your files easy to navigate. If you need to get a recall clip from, let's say, last year, want to plunk it onto a video, want to get music, audio, files, you need to spend time searching for it. If you already have something, you have to search for it on the web for ages to get another one. It's like, having a cluttered house. You may have the certain cable that you need, but it will take God knows how long to find it. So you just go out and spend money and buy it again. And that's just going to happen again and again and again. It's the same kind of scenario where you have to go out and download the same files again or get them sorted from somewhere else. It will take about 10 times longer. So we don't want that. We want it to be decluttered from the beginning and have it just ready for you to go and start editing much faster. So in terms of how to go about creating said backup workflow, what you have to do is think about your needs and uses of a backup workflow. So think about how you're going to use it and the type of content that you create, how much content you make, all that kind of jazz. So for me, creating 2 YouTube videos a day, I take tons of pictures, I have a podcast episode each day. I just have a lot of content. So my backup workflow would be much more thorough than people who create, let's say, 1 video a week. But just for an example, I'm going to go by someone who creates 1 video a week. So for them, they could possibly think about if they create 1 video a week, you organize it yearly. So for 2019, there's going to be January, February, and all the months. You go in, there's going to be week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, things like that. Because if you create 1 video a week, it's really going to be it's not going to be that useful to create it daily in terms of a folder for each day. So if you have a folder for each week and each month, then you can have the finished video, you can have all the video kind of raw clips and audio and B-roll and pictures for that in there. Now for pictures, you can have like a picture section for thumbnails, finished thumbnails, working pictures, stuff for social media, all that kind of jazz. But just organize it according to how you used it and how you're going to need it in future. Now, a couple of things to keep in mind and some tips when you're making a backup workflow. So the first one is to keep it simple. Now, if it's not simple in your mind, then it's just going to be like kind of overwhelming, complicated, and it's not going to be easy to use. It's going to make this kind of more of a hassle than a help for you, and it's just going to ruin the editing process for you. Make it really boring, hard to get your files and all that kind of jazz. So keep it simple, keep it efficient. Next up is make it easy to navigate. So with easy to navigate, that basically translates to, I want the file from 2017 when we went to Italy. That needs to be able to be found within 30 seconds to a minute. Bang, I have all the pictures and videos from that Italy trip. If I want a file from 2016, February the 1st, I need to find it within 30 seconds to a minute. So easy to navigate means that I'm able to find these files very, very quickly and just easily navigate through all my folders and files on the hard drive. Now the third thing to keep in mind is make sure that it's well organized. So obviously that depends on how much content you create. So for me, my organization system on this is much more meticulous than many other people because I do create a lot of content every single day. I'm filming and doing all that kind of jazz every single day, editing all the time. So, it's quite a lot of stuff that needs to be done. So it's organized very well. Now, obviously, very well is different according to what you make. So, if it's not organized very well, then it's going to be really hard to navigate. It's going to be complicated. All of this kind of all links together. You need it to be well organized so you can easily find all your files very quickly and just kind of not have things cluttered around, not in folders. Things need to be in folders and separated, organized into their categories so they're easy to find. The fourth thing to keep in mind is organize it often. Because if I have, let's say, a pile of like a month's worth of content and pictures and stuff that I haven't organized, next it becomes 2 months, 3 months, and that becomes about 10, 12 a week worth of work to go through and organize the whole thing. At that stage, you just don't want to do it anymore. It puts you off, and the whole system is ruined. This all depends on your consistency of organizing. You want to spend 20 minutes each week on the weekends just organizing it? That's great. You want to spend, let's say, an hour each month? I don't know. Whatever suits you in terms of how much content you create, you do that. For me, I do it every week, and I make sure I go by and organize it every weekend. Because I create a lot of content during the week, so it's too much to do it at the end of the month. And the fifth and final tip or thing to keep in mind is basically just do it your way. If it's not your way, then things are just going to go downhill, it's going to get complicated, and it's not going to work well. You don't need to follow Peter McKinnon's way or MKBHD's way or my way of organization. By the way, I'll have a full video on my whole backup workflow on a AKAJK Show episode sometime in the next month or something like that. But anyways, what you need to do is just take the aspects of those stuff that you like, put it together, and have something that works for you in the best way possible. If not, then you're going to be deeply screwed and the backup workflow system will just be trash. So, that is about it for this episode of the vlog. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below if you're going to adopt some of this stuff for your workflow, and subscribe to this channel to get more crispy content like this every single day. Turn on notifications so you're notified, and hopefully I'll catch you tomorrow in the morning for an episode of the AKAJK Show, because here at AKAJK, the grind is daily.